Back in 2017, Canon released what should have been the greatest camera of our time, the last DSLR ever made, the Canon 60 Mark II. We should have been flabbergasted by it. It could have been everything we dreamed of, but there was a hammer, and it visited their local facility. Look, buddy, we'll get to your segments later in the show. Right now, you just back off. This is my show. Today we make the lowest form of YouTube content possible. Is this camera worth buying in 2022? You're a loser.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So we finally got a Canon 6D Mark II to test. This has been on my radar for years. As soon as it was announced, I was like, I think it was the first full-frame camera with a flippy screen. Don't quote me on that. I don't even remember if this came out before the EOS R. Don't quote me on anything today. 2017, and here we have it. Its major complaint, in my opinion, two things. Dynamic range lower than a mole rat seeing light for the first time. It's all darkness, the blacks are so crushed, and I was like, wow, that's like worse than most APS-C. Like Fuji XT4 would crush this thing in dynamic range. There's no log format. Second thing was the 1080p was like line skipped 1080p. We're looking at it. It's not right. There's not a lot of detail in it, but we're full frame glory. Now, thanks to Camera Canada for lending this to me, we have a 6D Mark II with the 16-35 Tony 2.8 Mark III lens. Let's all go to Camera Canada tonight to appreciate them in bed. Not bad. We'll go for a little vlog test. I do have a Sony A7S III right beside it. We should compare the 1080p of that. How far have we come? Why wait? You know what's funny? That just looks so weird to me, right? What's going on with that look? I'm so used to this being like Sony color science, not bad, straight out of camera. And now I'm looking at it next to that. I don't know, man. Shirt's a little orange, I think. Things are weird. Things look very bad for some reason. This is the A7S III with the 20mm at 2.8 to match. We're not matching a damn thing. You had to zoom in for that to be a, oh god. Which one's better? Is there more detail? The thing is, with Sony, superior sharpness, but that's never a good thing for the face. So like every time you do a side-by-side, here's me 10 years later on a Sony. That's what you just look older and dumber. So you spent so much money and you're like, yes, the best, look how much sharper. And then you make a video and you're like, oh, I'm ugly. I'm really ugly. Hope nobody takes you serious in life. See, I could be selling you like, I'm on hot dog cleanse. Look at me, it works for me. You know what I mean? Hot dogs, they're cheap. I eat nothing but hot dogs. Buy my hot dog pack down below. Whereas Sony are like, hey, I eat a lot of lettuce. No, it doesn't work for me. I know it. The face. Not a lot of people want to follow what I do, but I do have lettuce down below, romaine, and red leaf. So you just eat nothing but lettuce for 3 days and you're not going to look any better, but it's worth doing. You'll feel good. Kind of, not. Okay, here's Sony in log. So you can see next to that light source, which I'm not framing at all appropriately. There. So you can see Sony has dynamic range in its heart. But Canon, maybe it's fine. I'm overblowing it. I'm blowing it hard. I actually should be comparing it to the Fuji XT4 with its 8-16mm. And then we go outside. Okay, here's next to the Fuji. We're just in Eterna versus neutral. Just standard. I'm not logging it up over here, trying to toot the horns of the APS-C train. I've lined things up very poorly once again. I suck at this so badly. both with us in the light. This is a terrible dynamic range test. It's not even hard. We're learning nothing. But we should see some advantages for the APS-C Fuji. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. Which colors do you prefer, Eterna or neutral of the Canon? I don't know, man. Fuji has some weird purple skin sometimes. I'm like, the magenta, I guess that is. It's a nightmare. It's a problem. Whereas Canon's always pretty good. Pretty darn good, if I must say. Let's leave the house. This is boring as shit. I'm bored. So imagine you. Can you believe that 1080p 60p back there? Oh wow, I've never crossed the street in such low resolution and such fast frame rates. I might as well have been sprinting. So right now we're at 16mm, lens stable only, no digital. This can do digital, and we will do it. I find lens stable is more natural, and I wish all systems would just have lens stable in every single lens, and no IBIS, and put in the variable electronic ND in there instead, then we might have something. This is heavy. All right, now digital stable plus lens stable working together. Huh? I think so. I think so. How's this dynamic range doing? What's that guy doing? You can see me. The sky's okay. I'm digging it. What are we doing here? Why so slow? Why so slow? During that intersection. Take a driver's test, buddy. The only real disappointing thing about this camera is the low detail in your image. Like, if you were trying to do macro work and show off this bee, like, look at all the hairs on the bee, it's like, there's nothing there. And you're like full frame, it's a joke. It's so heavy too. My God. But just for pleasing skin tones, you could do worse. You could do worse than this right now. I'm pretty sure the Canon RP is just this, but better in every way possible. Same basic thing, and then you adapt this lens, or you get that new 15 to 30 budget kit lens of Tony 4.5 to 6.3. What the hell is that thing? But for vlogging, okay. If you had to do it to your audience, they would accept you. It's a drama today. Here's something interesting. Notice the blue sky, all perfect and nice, nicely exposed. And I come in here, hey, let's pay attention to me instead. Look at Canon. They care about you. They're like, let's expose for him. Sure, his show is bullshit. He's on a street. Nobody's watching. But come on, humor him. And then they expose for us. I don't mind it. That's nice. That's nicely done. Sure, you blew out the sky. I don't mind you. Here's 16mm. Here's 35. Your cinematic outside, that's unbelievable. This is unbelievable. The Canon 6D too. I'm buying one. Through Camera Canada. We're all buying one, right? Down below. Here we got a little 24mm vlog happening. Almost caught a bicycle accident on film. Maybe next time. The dog snarling at us. It's a greyhound, by the way. I'll just zoom in to prove it. It's a greyhound-like. It's a hybrid. Let's just talk about those two new lenses that Canon announced. 24mm 1.8 macro stabilized. And then this 15 to 30 stabilized? I think so. Tony 4.5 to 6.3. That hurts. But which one would I go for? I'm thinking 24 is your lens now. You're all in one encompassing YouTube hobo lens. Because 24mm, it's vlog-like. So you would have this, but more stable and more tona if you needed it. You would have to stop it down though. Show the discipline in your heart and bring the backgrounds into your life. See? If I was stopped down, you'd be like, what's that? A blob in the background. But dare I dream, I think that 24mm would be mighty stable, and you could also do YouTube videos at home. It's a good focal length. It's just, I know it's gonna look a little cheap. They cut some corners on those 1.8 primes. They're not nice. They're not L lenses. There's nothing like 3D pop about them. There's no vintage elements. Nothing like
They're not proud of those lenses. They're just making them so you could afford them. YouTube hobos. So they're not good, but they're light and cheap. Kind of cheap. Not really. I'm in enhanced stabilization now. Super crop, but still at 16 mil. So 24 mil, not bad, I think. It's just I wish they cared and did like a nice character to it, like a Fuji style Zeiss or Leica Prime type of thing. It's just cheap and nasty. When it comes to that zoom, 15 to 30, the toniatures scare me a little bit. It's kind of light. I don't know, I just feel like no thanks on that one. But Canon now has 3 ultra-wide zooms. They're big mamma jamma 15 to 35 2.8, super heavy, super expensive. And then a 14 to 35, don't quote me on that, 24, lighter, still really expensive. Still heavy, it's okay. And now this budget one, no Tonys. No Tonys allowed in that backyard. Pretty cheap and light. Where's my vintage one? I almost decapitated him. Why am I so dark? Why am I dark? You know what's funny? This is how dumb I am. It's embarrassing. I just went to look through the viewfinder thinking, oh, an optical viewfinder. Huh, that must be cool. What's it like to really look through the lens? Oh, you can't do that for video. That's cool, because the mirror is up. There's nothing. That sucks. I wanted to see what's it like. I bet you the A7S III viewfinder looks better than whatever this is. I'm going to switch it into photo mode and look, and I'll report back. Hey, puppy. Do you love it? Not gonna lie to you, that was a fantastic experience looking through that thing. It was crystal clear. It would annoy me not having, like, peaking. It was kind of tough to judge critical photos? Oh, man. Can I hide under this baggie? I took 2 amazing pictures, both definitely perfectly exposed, because I can tell how to expose with an OVF. No problem. One annoying thing, I'm in manual now. I was in aperture priority the whole time, and nothing is changing the aperture. I don't know how to change it. It's so annoying. The wheel in the front does nothing. And I was like, how do you change the aperture? You can't. I can't. So there's a chance this whole vlog has been Tony 11 the whole time, for all we know. So that hurts. But I don't know, man. It's not the best camera, but it's full frame. It's full frame. Look at you. You're getting it. It's heavy. It's pretty outdated. They'll probably never make another DSLR ever again. Why would they? Live view mode, you can't use the OVF. So, like, I don't even have an EVF now. If I wanted to do wildlife or something, gone. For photos, I bet this thing's a killer. Still. Pretty good. I don't know how many frames per second it shoots, but enough is the answer. And if the autofocus has been getting me this whole time, dual pixel autofocus in DSLR-like technology, dynamic range, scaring us all right now. But Canon catches up. They notice somewhat exposed for you, even in the darkest shadows of the night. Even though I'm at 2,000th of a shutter, and there's no reason why it should. And you can't, yes, you can change it. So that's a huge cripple I'm noticing, that you can't do aperture priority in video. It just can't be done. I'm in it right now, and it does nothing. It's like a program auto type of thing. All I can do is change the exposure compensation, which God only knows what that changes. Nothing good. It's the worst camera of our time, and it always was. And if you buy one through my affiliate links, I will never forgive you for that. So I'm gonna leave. What do you think of the footage? Does it at least look somewhat respectable? I doubt it. There's women. Notice how they didn't stop and talk to me? It's because I'm using a Canon. It's like mosquito repellent for women. I'm gonna leave. Shop around sometime. Thanks.